Ethan never thought his best friend would be capable of betraying him. They had been through everything together: school struggles, heartbreaks, late night talks about their dreams. But in the end, Jason chose money over their friendship. And what happened next? Well, karma never forgets. Ethan and Jason had been inseparable since the 5th grade. They had always supported each other through thick and thin. It was them against the world. Or at least, that's what Ethan believed. Both came from humble backgrounds, but they dreamed of making it big. Their passion was technology, and they even started a small business fixing phones and laptops for people in their neighborhood. It wasn't much, but it was honest work. One day, while scrolling through the internet, Jason came across an opportunity that seemed too good to be true. A new startup looking for fresh talent to invest in. The prize? $50,000 for the best business pitch. Ethan, this is our shot, Jason said excitedly. We've been grinding for years. Imagine what we could do with 50 grand. Ethan nodded. We have to go all in. This could change our lives. For the next few weeks, they worked tirelessly on their business proposal. Late nights turned into early mornings as they fine-tuned every detail. They believed in their idea, and most importantly, Ethan trusted Jason. The night before the pitch, Jason called Ethan over to his place. Ethan arrived expecting another long brainstorming session, but instead, he found Jason sitting on his bed looking nervous. I have something to tell you, Jason started, avoiding eye contact. What's up? Ethan asked. Jason took a deep breath. I submitted the business proposal without you. For a moment, Ethan thought he was joking. But the serious look on Jason's face said otherwise. What do you mean? Ethan asked. Jason hesitated. I changed the application. I put only my name on it. And I got the money. The words hit Ethan like a truck. You did what? I'm sorry, man, Jason muttered. But there was no real remorse in his voice. I needed this money. I knew you would understand. Understand? Ethan laughed bitterly. We worked on this together. We built this idea from scratch. Jason, how could you do this to me? Jason's eyes darted away. I had no choice. The investors wanted one name. And you had a choice, and you chose yourself, Ethan interrupted, shaking his head. His best friend had just stabbed him in the back. If you're enjoying this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. Ethan walked out that night, feeling as though his entire world had collapsed. His chest felt heavy, his mind clouded with betrayal. The person he trusted the most had just taken everything from him. Not just their business idea, but also the years of friendship they had built. He had never known pain like this. For days, he shut himself off from the world. He didn't respond to messages, didn't eat properly, and barely left his room. The thought of trusting anyone again made his stomach turn. If Jason, his best friend, could betray him so easily, what was stopping anyone else from doing the same? Doubt and paranoia consumed him. Every interaction felt suspicious. When people spoke to him, he wondered if they had ulterior motives. When people offered help, he questioned what they wanted in return. He started pushing away those who genuinely cared for him, locking himself away in his own suffering. His family noticed the change immediately. His mother, worried sick, would knock on his door at odd hours, urging him to eat, to talk, to at least step outside. His father, though less vocal, would sit silently in the living room, waiting for Ethan to emerge. His sister tried to cheer him up, reminding him that one failure didn't define him. But Ethan was too deep in his own misery to listen. Jason, on the other hand, barely made an effort to mend what he had broken. He sent Ethan a short message a week after the betrayal saying, "I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean for it to go this way." That was it. No explanation, no real apology, just a few meaningless words sent through a screen. Jason never called, never showed up at Ethan's house, never truly tried to fix the damage he had caused. Instead, he moved on with his new wealth, posting pictures online of his newfound success, expensive clothes, fancy dinners, and a flashy lifestyle. It was as if Ethan had never even been a part of his life. Seeing those images crushed Ethan. The betrayal replayed in his mind over and over. His dreams, his trust, his years of hard work had been stolen, and Jason showed no real remorse. If you're enjoying this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. Ethan started to believe there was no point in trying anymore. He questioned whether anything he worked for would ever matter. Maybe life was just about taking what you could and leaving everyone else behind. One night, after another day of drowning in self-pity, his uncle showed up unexpectedly. He knocked on Ethan's door, but didn't wait for an invitation. He walked in, sat down, and handed Ethan an old battered screwdriver. "You remember this?" his uncle asked. Ethan frowned. It was one of the first tools he had ever used when he learned how to fix electronics. "You didn't start this business because of Jason," his uncle continued. "You started because you love it, because you are good at it, and because deep down, you wanted to build something of your own. Are you really going to let one greedy fool take that from you?" Ethan stared at the screwdriver for a long time. His uncle was right. Jason may have taken the idea, but he couldn't take Ethan's skills, his passion, or his ability to start again. It wasn't easy to pick himself up, but his family refused to let him fall any further. His mother made sure he ate, his father helped him focus, and his sister, his biggest cheerleader, pushed him to start something new. It wasn't about revenge, it was about proving to himself that he wasn't defeated. It was time to rebuild. Jason's company grew fast, but the foundation it was built on was weak, lies, greed, and betrayal. At first, he basked in the glory of his newfound success. He was featured in business magazines, interviewed on podcasts, and praised for his brilliant innovation. He wore expensive suits, drove flashy cars, and partied with the rich and powerful. But beneath the surface, cracks had already begun to form. Without Ethan's technical expertise and strategic thinking, Jason quickly found himself out of his depth. The investors who had placed their trust and money in him expected results. They wanted growth, innovation, and sustainability. But Jason had none of those things. He had stolen an idea, but didn't have the knowledge or the work ethic to make it thrive. At first, he tried to fake it. He hired consultants to patch up the problems, made empty promises to investors, and took reckless financial risks. He poured money into extravagant marketing campaigns, hoping to cover up the fact that the company was crumbling from the inside. He ignored warnings, dismissed experienced advisors, and surrounded himself with people who only told him what he wanted to hear. Then the truth came out. One of the major investors had suspicions about Jason's background and started digging. They uncovered Ethan's old emails, the original draft of the proposal, and even messages between Jason and Ethan discussing their joint idea. The betrayal was undeniable. When the investors realized Jason had built his empire on deception, they immediately pulled their funding. Without financial backing, Jason's company fell apart almost overnight. His employees who had once looked up to him abandoned ship. Lawsuits followed. The business world turned its back on him. The media, which once celebrated him, now labeled him a fraud. His fancy car was repossessed, his account drained, and the so-called friends who had enjoyed his wealth disappeared without a trace. It didn't take long before Jason found himself completely alone. One evening, with nowhere else to turn, he showed up at Ethan's doorstep. He looked nothing like the confident man who had stolen their business idea. His clothes were wrinkled, his eyes hollow with exhaustion, and his hands trembled as he spoke. "I messed up," Jason admitted. "I need your help." Ethan stood in the doorway, his face unreadable. He had imagined this moment countless times, the day Jason would finally realize the weight of his betrayal. But now that it was here, he felt no satisfaction, no sense of victory. "Help?" Ethan scoffed. "Like the way you helped me when you stole our idea?" If you're enjoying this story, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let's continue. Jason swallowed hard. "I was stupid. I thought money would fix everything. But I lost it all, man, and I lost you." For the first time, Ethan saw real regret in Jason's eyes, but it was too late. Ethan took a deep breath. "Some betrayals can't be undone, Jason." Jason nodded slowly, as if he had known all along that this would be Ethan's answer. He stepped back, turned around, and walked away into the darkness, carrying the weight of his choices on his shoulders. Karma had come knocking, and Jason had no one to blame but himself. While Jason struggled, Ethan worked hard on something new. He had lost his business idea to betrayal, but he refused to let that be the end of his journey. With no investors, no immediate prospects, and little money, Ethan found himself at a dead end. But he wasn't alone. His family saw his determination and stepped in to help. His uncle, the same one who spoke to him, offered him a corner to walk out of his repair shop. His older sister, who had a background in marketing, helped him set up an online presence. His parents, despite their limited resources, provided encouragement and moral support. The beginning was tough. He worked long hours, often fixing phones and laptops late into the night for a fraction of what they were worth. He networked tirelessly, building relationships with small business owners, offering his expertise wherever he could. Slowly, his hard work paid off. His reputation grew, and soon, larger clients started approaching him. Eventually, Ethan found success on his own, but this time, he surrounded himself with people who truly had his back. He had learned that trust and loyalty were far more valuable than any sum of money, and with that lesson, he built something even stronger than before. The lesson: greed can destroy even the strongest of friendships, and karma, well, she never forgets. Trust is fragile. Once it's broken, it's almost impossible to build. Jason learned that the hard way. If anyone ever find themselves choosing between money and loyalty, they should remember this story, because in the end, no amount of money is worth losing the people who truly care. If you have enjoyed and learned something from this story, Please share with other people. And don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.